You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Chris Vermeulen. His website is thegoldanoilguy.com. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jim.
Well, what's going on with gold?
Gold, yeah. Well, gold has been, gold just continues to get beat up month after month. It's been a couple months in a row of nonstop selling. It's just, we get these strong pops in gold and gold stocks, and then, of course, it just fades right back down. It's like never-ending bleeding in the gold market. It's, one week after another, it just continues to go lower. And this week, gold itself and gold miners are testing some critical long-term support zones. They're on the verge of making new multi-year lows. And really, since kind of the major kind of bottom we had in 2013, we've made several minor lows from then till now, but that was the major big spike low. The gold market's been trying to put a bottom in. And a lot of people have been accumulating gold and gold stocks and getting really bullish on it. And really, we need this base to really flatten out and start to head higher for it to be a base. But at this point, the way price has been moving, it looks as though it's a running correction in the gold market, meaning instead of it finding a base and then rallying and starting a new bull market or creating some type of sideways consolidation and then continuing to go lower, it continues to slowly make these minor new lows with really long bounces in between. So it's a running correction, which means I think we're about to hit the second leg down for the gold market and for gold mining stocks. And the majority of people seem to have been accumulating and are still holding gold stocks, and gold is not finding a bottom. And once we're getting to a point here where there's going to be a threshold and people are going to finally give up on gold and gold stocks, and we're going to see a big washout, and I think we can see gold itself flash all the way down to around $815 an ounce in a relatively short period of time. Like we're talking within a couple months here, we could easily touch that level.
Would that cause panic in the market?
Of course it will. It is the panic that's going to actually create that. So many people have been holding onto their gold stock, just, hoping for a price to come back, and it's not. It's the gold market's still making lower highs and lower lows. And we're getting to a halfway point using Fibonacci numbers, if you know what they are, fractal numbers and patterns, that, gold has kind of made the halfway mark, and we could easily see gold here just give way, and we see 3 or 4 big months of selling, and we see gold just go into a slide. And if we break these lows here that gold put in late 2014 in November there, if we break this low on gold, I think we're going to start to see a landslide, and we're going to see things pick up. People are going to start to have margin calls. They're going to be forced to sell positions. That's going to create more selling pressure and lower prices. We're going to have people start to become more fearful, and they're just going to start selling. They're going to tell their advisors, get me to cash. I can't take this anymore. I don't want to go through another bear market. And that's going to feed the fire. And we're going to probably see it go really quick down to, $900, $800 an ounce. And then I think we could see a knee-jerk reaction, and we see things stabilize, and then we see that bottom put in. But right now, the sentiment in the market, it seems as though people are really praying and hoping for a bottom here, and they've been accumulating, and I think they're going to be caught off guard. They're going to be flushed out of the market. There's going to be a lot of disappointed people and a lot of losses for individuals, and that's going to create this kind of washout low I think we're getting close to seeing here.
Now, what about vultures like the country of China? They've been snapping up every physical piece of gold they can find over the last 3 to 5 years. Are they going to see this as a great opportunity to scoop up even more?
I think they probably would. I don't see why they wouldn't. With all the currency issues going on, why not own gold at, a much lower price? The lower it goes, kind of the better for a physical metal, especially when it costs, $800 to get it out of the ground. You might as well buy it at cost. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity long term. We just need to wait for this washout. I think we're going to see this washout take place before that bottom gets put in.
We'll have more with Chris Vermeulen right after this.
More and more people are looking to the internet for intelligent, riveting, and thought-provoking interviews. To advertise on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com, call 604-699-8600, 604-699-8600.
Welcome back. My guest is Chris Vermeulen. His website, thegoldanoilguy.com. Well, if gold is expected to take quite a dive down, what's happening in the oil market?
Yeah, oil is it's in a very similar boat, just a different time frame that it's going. Crude oil is more or less, pardon the pun, is a slippery slope. It is sliding and selling off extremely fast, similar to what we saw in 2008. And we're getting to a point where crude oil is, it's only had its first kind of bounce here in the market just in the last month. And we're seeing it start to slide to new lows as of today and yesterday. And I think we're going to see some pretty wild volatility here for crude oil. Right now, I think we're going to see it be chopping around between literally, I think it go all the way down to around $33, $34 a barrel and be bouncing all the way up to $50, $55 a barrel. So I think things are going to get really volatile here, and I think they're going to stay down in that range for some time before it actually, reverses and we see it start to pick back up.
Of course, springtime measures the start of the so-called driving season, and I hear one of the factors in the price of oil is they're still producing 2 million barrels of oil a day more than what the earth consumes. They're storing the excess, but they're quickly running out of that storage capacity. Is that a factor you have to look at?
Yeah, I think that's a factor for sure. I think it'll play into price, and I think a lot of that is going to be part of this volatility we're about to see. We've got, it's pretty extreme times in the oil market. We've got all kinds of places, closing down. We've got people cutting staff. We've got, prices low. There's tons of supply out there, but now demand is picking back up. There's all these mixed signals. So I think this is going to cause a lot of volatility in crude oil going forward. Another couple months here, 2 or 3 months from now, I think we're going to see a big wide range where we're going to get waves of, really bullish sentiment. We'll see it pop, and then we'll see it sell right back down. I think it's really touchy topic for investors, and they're really jumpy when they hear news. If it's bad news, they seem to want to just flush the market out. If it looks like it might be good news, it pops right back up because oil looks like it's such great value. We're just at a lot of information, a lot of different things are coming together for crude oil that's creating a lot of this chop, this wild kind of price action that I think we're seeing and going to still see for a couple months.
How does the U.S. or high U.S. dollar factor into the price of oil, which is sold in U.S. dollars?
Yeah, the U.S. dollar has been just on a tear. If you go back on the charts all the way around to 1985, and you were to draw a down trend line from all the previous rallies in the U.S. dollar index, really this month we blew through that resistance level, and now we're headed to, multi-year highs. And of course, a rising dollar is definitely going to put some pressure on commodities and crude oil, and it's definitely a problem for commodities to move up in value here.
What about countries with lower currencies like Canada or Australia, which are big commodity producers? Is it good or bad news for them?
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. It depends on the type of investor you are. Obviously, the rising dollar and falling oil really hurts the Canadian loonie. And of course, just traveling abroad myself to the States frequently, I haven't worried about the currency conversion for a while. And the last 2 trips that I've taken there, I'm starting to see a $1.25 currency exchange when we were at par or better only a couple of years ago. And, it's really, that really hit me in the last couple of months doing these trips. This exchange rate has jumped drastically, and it is definitely going to put a halt on Canadians, buying stuff across the border and traveling. I think it's going to hurt a lot of people, the weak dollar. It's hurt Canadians anyway. It's
great if you're an exporter, but if you go on a trip to the U.S., it's going to cost you a lot of money. On the other hand, I guess, though, it makes Europe more affordable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Other than just having to get across the big pond, airfare. But of course, the airlines are loving the low prices of fuel. It's, it definitely helps the airlines, but the airfare to get overseas is still a big pill to swallow.
Right, and I haven't seen any big sales because they say, well, we've been in a loss position for so many years, it's nice to actually make money.
Probably. I could see them saying that. I'm not sure, but makes sense.
Do you have a newsletter, by the way, that people can get?
I do. I have a newsletter at thegoldanoilguy.com. It's a free newsletter. I do write-ups each week, usually every Sunday and Wednesday night, and I cover kind of some big picture very educational kind of analysis that explains why I'm saying what I'm saying and showing on the charts. I'm a technical analyst. And, of course, I give out the occasional trade idea here and there.
And how can people get that newsletter?
You just go to thegoldanoilguy.com, and you'll see an opt-in form, or it'll pop up in the middle of the screen after a few seconds, and you can just put your name and email in there, and you can get my reports delivered directly to your inbox.
Thanks a lot for chatting with us.
All right, take care, Jim. Appreciate it.
My guest has been Chris Vermeulen, and you just heard how to find his website and his newsletter, thegoldanoilguy.com. You're listening to HowStreet.com Radio. Our popular YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter as well at Talk Digital Net. Comments about the show can be sent to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on HowStreet.com Radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com Radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.